another week of the Women's Basketball Talk Show. I'm assistant coach Brandon Bias, joined always by head coach David Smalley. Welcome, Coach.
Great to be back. Good to be back in action here on the big screen. You know, we've had a lot of COVID other issues going on, but I'm sure we're going to talk about that. But what a season! What a season!
Definitely. And we haven't had a talk show in 2 weeks. Obviously, we didn't see a reason to have a talk show without playing a game. So between our last talk show and this talk show, we went to Alice Lloyd and had a basketball game that we won 90-77. So our record's currently 20-1. Can you kind of update us a little bit about coming off that 5-day break and then having to go to Alice Lloyd, which is probably one of the most difficult places to go and pick up a win, and just give us a little feedback on that.
Well, we thought we had kind of shaken the COVID issue. You know, we went through a lot of turmoil last year with COVID. I think we were in COVID protocol, quarantine, maybe 33 days last year. So we thought we were dodging that. I thought our players, again, have done a great job of staying in their bubble, being smart, being vigilant, wearing masks, taking care of business. But, you know, this variant, it's out there, and we didn't say if it happens. We said when it happens, and that it bit us a little bit. So we were down for 5 days as a team. We were separated in quarantine. Then we started trickling back. Basically, it was 11 days since our last game before we went down to Alice Lloyd. And that, from a coaching standpoint, that creates concerns, rhythm, things of that nature. Getting back in action, being off 11 days kind of hurts a team like us because we are more of a rhythm type of a team. But really, the players did a great job. We started out, we had 5 players on one practice, couple practices, and then it went to 8, and then went to 10, and we finally got 12 of our 14 back on a Wednesday. So we had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to prepare. Still 2 players were not with us at Alice Lloyd, but we had the majority of the team there, and I thought we did some pretty nice things. I thought we weren't as sharp offensively as I know we're capable of, but everything else was in tune. And a couple of big statistics. We out-rebounded Alice Lloyd. First of all, Alice Lloyd is a very, very good team. They're one of the bigger teams that we're going to go up against. And I mean height and girth. I mean width, strength. They're just big. They had, for their stats, they blocked 16 of our shots, and they had a couple of knockout punches too. I think Avery Harper got knocked out. I know Haley Jordan got knocked out. If it was a boxing ring, it would have been a great show. But we beat them on the rebounding statistics, 63-42, and that's huge. We also beat them at free throw shooting percentage, but they got more free throws than we did, but we did win that battle. So as you had mentioned, we won a very, very tough game on the road after 11 days down at Alice Lloyd, 90-77. Just some highlights of that. Haley Jordan, 24 points, 10 rebounds. Ella Skeens, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Kaylee Darnell.
2 bloody knees, probably.
And 2 bloody knees, yeah. She on the floor a lot. Kaylee Darnell, 11 points, 5 rebounds. China Chambers, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Harley Entrit, 10 points, 5 rebounds in 9 minutes. That young lady, unbelievable, the small amounts of minutes in the production. And then Jocelyn Abraham, 4 points, 8 rebounds in 8 minutes, and a huge block. Those two, Harley and Jocelyn, are just coming into their own, doing some great things. They keep working hard. They give us good instant rebounding and a little bit of offensive structure when they come in. And then as a result of that game, and we'll talk about the ball here shortly, but Haley Jordan ended up being Player of the Week in the River States Conference. That's her second award of being Player of the Week. I think Ella Skeens was first, and then Haley, and then Kaylee Darnell, and now Haley again. So that's a team award, although it's an individual thing at this particular point for Haley. And we're excited about the fact that Haley got her 1,000th point down at Alice Lloyd, and she, I believe, now is about the 33rd or 34th player in the program's history that's hit that coveted milestone, and she could be on track for 2,000.
Yeah, she's definitely on track for 2,000 with 2 years of eligibility and still 15, 16, 17, 18 games when we win the national championship. So along those lines, going down to Alice Lloyd, the majority of the players had been a part of the team last year that, the conference games didn't count, and give Alice Lloyd credit. I mean, we signed up 2 games with them last year to play home and away with them. We went down there and didn't play our best game, and we ended up losing that game 98-94. And luckily, I did not ride the bus back that night because I was transporting our SID Randy Payton with me. But the rumor has it that the meal for that night was at the Love's gas station located beside Rio Grande. This was not a home game, ladies and gentlemen. This was an away game. So whenever we played down there this time, they all had one thing that they wanted to accomplish, and that was to not eat that far away from where we were playing again. Do you think that had some motivation?
Well, first of all, you need to do a little better job on your research and statistical analysis, because I don't know that that's true. But I do know we had a very lengthy conversation after that 4-point loss down there. And, now that you mention it, I think maybe they didn't eat that night. But we told them after the Alice Lloyd win, we're going to find the best gas station food that we can. That's how important they are to us. They ate well.
Yeah, they did.
We always eat well after big wins. I think that's a given.
And for all the fans out there, we don't need any letters or complaints sent in. There are tons and tons of snacks on the bus. Even if they do not stop and eat somewhere, they probably eat better on the bus than they would in most restaurants. Rose takes care of them. Other people, Bobby, Alice, and Mulaney, they definitely supply snacks and stuff for the bus. So please save all the complaints. Don't mail them in to the president. We'll be all right. But moving along, another thing that you had talked about, Haley. Man, Haley getting her 1,000 points. She's now a 2-time Player of the Week. My opinion, being a stat person that I am and looking at all the statistics, has to be the front runner for Player of the Year in the River States Conference. We have several players that are in the mix for it, but right now, Haley has to have that edge of one. And the thing of it is she came out in the Alice Lloyd game when we hadn't played in 11 days, and I mean, she scored her 10 points pretty fast. She was 10 points away. So can you kind of talk about the stability that Haley gives us and the role that she currently plays for us that she's morphed into over her first 2 years playing for us?
Well, it's always an adjustment coming in, and with typically when freshmen come in, it's usually a transition from high school to college and learning the system and those types of things. And every player goes through that. Rarely do players come in. I think Darnell kind of came in with a little more experience and ready to play and got the job done. Haley came in and learned her way, and I think Haley will be the first one to say that she is establishing and reaching these milestones and future possible goals just because of the team, the bonding, the program itself, and she does do a great job. Athletically, I think most programs have a hard time matching up with her. She's an undersized post player, but is very athletic, can run the floor, handles the basketball, got a good shot, and it is a great shooter, and that obviously goes along with scoring points. As far as Player of the Year, I don't get much into that. I know you statistical gurus like to look at that stuff, but I think you're right. I think you're right on target. I think she's going to be a front runner. I think Ella's going to be a front runner. I think maybe Darnell could be a front runner. It just depends on a lot of characteristics, and we have a fickle group of coaches that it depends on what they do. They vote on it. It's a coaching conference coaches vote. I don't get a vote for my own players, but I think she's in a great position. I think we have put her in a great position. She's helped put herself in a great position. And the bottom line is, the analogy we talk about, we're in the car, we're in the driver's seat. I think Alice Lloyd, we got the seatbelt buckled, we got the key in the ignition. It's not turned on yet. It's not ready. We're not running yet. We got a tough weekend coming up. And we got a lot of games in front of us, and then let's let the cards fall as they may, but I like Haley's chances of being possibly a POY Player of the Year. Thank you.
So, and another Player of the Week. I get your point.
Get a couple more of those.
Yeah,
too.
she may get like 4 more. So, with that being said, we're here in a few hours. We're going to load the bus and we're going to head to Indiana. So our 2 games that we have upcoming for Thursday and Saturday, St. Mary's of the Woods and then IU Kokomo. Can you kind of touch on both of those?
Well, St. Mary of the Woods, it's going to be a whole new experience for everybody, including me. I've never been in that facility, never been to that school. they're a good team. They're athletic. They got some size and strength. They got some great perimeter people that can shoot. They play hard. They played last night down at Alice Lloyd. Didn't do very well. They ended up losing down there. Now they're traveling back home. I kind of wish they'd just swing up here and just play at home. Why not?
Could have called it even.
But we've got to travel, and it's on the road. And we will have our hands full with St. Mary's of the Woods. And then we transition over to Kokomo, which is a whole new coaching staff, new program, which we didn't play Kokomo last year, did we? Mm-hmm. I think it's been due to COVID.
2 years.
So we're kind of going into the unknown with both of these teams on the road. But that's part of who we are and what we have to get accomplished. But I feel good about our opportunity and our chances. We stay focused. We do our game plan. Let's do what we do well, which is transition. And our bench can't say enough about the bench. On any given night, various players are stepping up and doing what they need to do. And I feel good about where we are, but that's why we toss it up. You got to go out and play, and we got to get the job done.
Yeah, and as you've alluded to in the past, whenever we have multiple days to prepare for a team, we tend to do better whenever we're playing that team. And we've played Saturday, and we don't have another opponent until Thursday, so we've got to focus on St. Mary's of the Wood the whole time. St. Mary's of the Wood had to focus on Alice Lloyd. They really only have today to focus on the University of Rio Grande. I feel we're a team you need to focus on more than one day because we have so many different people that can come in. That could be a strength for ours. Now let's flip it. Now we're going to play Kokomo on Saturday. We only have one day to prepare for Kokomo. So it's two different transitions for us. Did we focus too much on St. Mary's? Did we need to kind of talk a little bit about Kokomo? In our system, we always focus on the next game and we don't look ahead. So that's always, this is kind of back in our Mid-South days of when we used to play Thursday, Saturday, and that Saturday game was always tough because you only had one day to prepare, and most of the time it was just really scouting report because you're recovering from the game you just played on Thursday. So that'll be interesting to kind of see how we do that. But for those, we'll look back to the first few weeks when we played Friday, Saturday for the first 3 weeks. We played back-to-back. So if we can make that transition, we were kind of hoping that we would be able to make the day transition between games.
And a couple other points. We are going out there and we're going to practice at St. Mary's, and we're also going to practice at IU Kokomo. And I think it's so vitally important that our players get into the venue or the facility that we're going to be in, because that just gets some familiarity with it and do some shooting, get some moving around, and a couple other ingredients that go on to this success. I don't know, we're 20 wins, 1 loss, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Again, players are buying into it. Great players. I think a good coaching staff. I think preparation, and we do the one single game championships. The most important game is the next game. And then I gotta say something about our fan base. It's unbelievable. We've always had great fan bases over the years, but this year it's on steroids. It's elevated. And then down at Alice Lloyd was a huge fan base of about 30 plus family members, friends that came down, and our crowd was just as vocal, in some situations more vocal than Alice Lloyd. And as a matter of fact, I think we had one fan that kind of had to take a little trip during the game. He got kind of removed because of his cheering for University of Rio Grande Red Storm, which love that. And not going to say any names. Brandon from Aaliyah Kreitz family, not this Brandon. We also had about 3 technicals called in the game because the players are focused and getting after it, and 2 of them were on our side, but that's okay. You got to have a little bit of grit. We talk about a little bit of grit, a little bit of edge, and I think we're having that within reason. So a lot of things going on in this program, and just pleased that we're where we are, and knock on wood, and hope that we can continue to go forward without any more disruptions. And we got 9 games left in regular season, 3 conference tournament, and whatever that is, 6 or 7 in national tournament.
Yeah, so we'll keep everybody posted. Again, we have some rescheduled games. So I believe after this weekend's trip, we're going to have 7 games. 4 of them will be at home, 3 on the road. And as long as we take care of our business, every game that we play in the River States, we have the possibility of hosting. if we don't slip up down the straight stretch. So those are going to be more opportunities. I mean, we can't speak enough of what the fan support does for us. I mean, at Alice Lloyd, had we not had those fans, there were parts in the game where we could have easily fell down a wormhole, and I don't know that we would have got out. That's sometimes what happens whenever you go down there. But our support and fan base is awesome, and we couldn't ask for any better support. Shout out to Aaliyah's dad for getting thrown out there. Well, most people thought it would have been Gary. It wasn't. It was Aaliyah's dad. But again, hey man, they come out there and support us, and hopefully you'll get to come to some games down the stretch. Coach, thanks for joining us. We're going to bring up 2 of our players and have a conversation with them. Welcome back. I am joined now by Reagan Willingham and Jocelyn Abraham. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting up early this morning before we head off later, a couple hours. We're going to be heading to Indiana. Just kind of wanted to have you on here, talk to you a little bit about a few things, and then kind of see where your head's at for the rest of the season. So we just came off a win from Alice Lloyd. That puts us at 20-1. We're currently ranked 18th in the top 25 poll. New poll comes out later this evening. Maybe we'll get a little bit of love. But can you kind of just talk about the season at this point, factors that you think that we have that has led us to be 20-1, whether, the team chemistry, the build-up, what you think has allowed us to be where we are. Reagan, start with you.
Yeah, just the team chemistry is great, I think. Everyone really seems to like each other. We all get along very well, so I think that just helps us through practices and games.
Jocelyn?
Yeah, I'd say chemistry as well. Like, we all get along and we're all friends, and we hang out like every night, and just like building on practices and everything, it just leads up to good wins.
Yeah. So you're telling me that after practice, you all still want to hang out with each other?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
See how long that lasts. That's something that the coaching staff talks about, the community and everything. You can see the chemistry out there. Even days whenever I'm sure it's just like any family. I mean, one day somebody's going to get on your nerves. But, like, you can never tell that whenever we're playing basketball. And you can never tell who's having a bad day because everybody's quick to rush over and help each other. Now, the fans don't get to see it in practice, but, if we're doing a Stanford drill and we're running, if we don't make 20 layups and somebody misses it, some teams you're gonna see people talk down to them, but you're gonna hear people, hey, let's pick it up. We got to get one more, and pat on the back and say, hey, it's okay. So what has that meant for you during your career? Not just for the past 3 years for Reagan and 2 years for Jocelyn, but this year with the players being so supportive. How has that helped you as a player during practices and bad days, Reagan?
Yeah, a missed shot. Everyone's gonna miss a shot, but I always know that I have my teammates to back me up, even when I know Coach Bias is going to get on me. Coach Smalley's probably going to get on me. Coach Markham will probably call me weak or soft. But I always have my teammates to back me up. So.
And for you, Jocelyn?
Yeah, it's just like knowing that your teammates are there gives you like a big confidence booster, and like everybody wanting to like do better and like increase their game or whatever just makes you want to try harder, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, and something that I enjoy, and I don't know that you all even get this reference. Maybe this is more for our fan base who will get our reference. But our team celebrates each player as if they're Rudy Rudiger. The movie Rudy. He finally got to play for Notre Dame, and he got in, and they celebrated him. And somebody had worked so hard. But we celebrate whether you're a starter, whether you're a sub, we celebrate each other as if we've all worked for 4 years to get in for that 1 minute. And I think that that's what pays dividends, because we celebrate each other. It doesn't matter, Haley starts, but if Haley scores 10 straight points and gets that 1,000 point, we celebrate as if that's the first time she got in her career.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yep. So I think that's something that's going to really help us going forward. Maybe let's tell the fan base kind of, why did you pick Rio? Why did you come to Rio? So for Reagan, 3 years ago, why did you pick Rio?
Well, I got a call from you, so I came down on a visit. I felt very welcomed by everyone on my visit. I don't really remember who was on my visit. I think Avery. I met Avery. She was nice. They told me, like, oh, this will be your team captain. I liked Avery from the start. Just the environment and the vibes I got from the coaches and the players, I really liked it.
Yeah, good. So with that too, Reagan, 3 years into it, good choice, bad choice, great choice?
Great choice. great season so far, great 3 seasons. And then with my education, obviously I just switched my major, so just starting over a little bit, but it's a great choice.
Hey, you can always start over at Rio.
Right, yeah.
Right, because we changed tomorrow's.
Right, yes.
All right, Jocelyn, can you give us a little background on why you picked Rio?
Well, when I first came here, just like all around the campus, like it's a really good atmosphere. It just felt like home because like I live in the country as well, and it's just like a nice area to be around. I don't like being around a lot of people, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, and their psychology major is like really good, and the basketball team was a really good plus too. Like everybody was welcoming and with open arms, so it was nice.
Yeah, definitely. Those are great qualities that Rio can bring to you. Reagan, so today when we take off and we're heading to Indiana and you're putting your head on your pillow, what song are you going to be listening to?
Well, I usually don't listen to music when I fall asleep, but I'll probably be watching TikToks, and then I'll just throw the blanket over my head and I'll probably go to bed.
Okay. Jocelyn?
Yeah, it's probably TikTok or Juice WRLD.
Okay. Hey, man. Hey, I give you. I used to, why do they watch those TikToks? I mean, what are they always doing? And then like I see some of them trying to do stuff, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? I can see myself. I'll pull one up on my phone, and then 3 hours later, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not moving.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
guess done it.
And what are these people doing?
Yeah.
So, Reagan, what is one of your on your wish list of you hope we eat where over the next 4 days?
Hands down, Chipotle.
Okay.
I second that
Chipotle.
motion.
Okay, so that you'd go with the same one, Jocelyn?
Chipotle.
Anything but Applebee's.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Obviously, I like Applebee's, so they are all going to go against Applebee's. So I may be eating dinner alone, but it's okay. Whenever they're winning, we let them eat where they want to eat. So, we're about to take a trip. We got 2 games. Can you kind of talk about, the coach's selling point of what we expect for these next 2 games? We're 20-1. We got 2 games. What's our game plan for these next 2 games?
Well, obviously, we need to win. We need to win big, I think. I think if we win big these 2 games, that'll be good for us.
Jocelyn?
Yeah, just like what you and Coach Smalley preach on is worrying about the next game. So St. Mary of the Woods is like what we need to worry about, and we're going to win big.
Yeah. So, and when we go and play these teams and we say we want to win and we want to win big, it's because if each game is a championship, I know that people say you want to win a championship by a point and that's all that matters. We want to prove we're supposed to be there and why we're supposed to be there. So that's why we preach the 1-game championships. So hopefully we'll have you back on in a few weeks. Hopefully we'll all be celebrating here in a few weeks with a conference championship, but it's a long way to go. We're 21 games in. We got 9 games to go, 7 left after this weekend, and then a lot of things are going to start falling into place.
Yep.
Right now we're sitting first, and hopefully we'll finish that. But thank you, girls, for coming on this morning. Have a go to your morning classes before we get on the bus, and we'll see you here in a few hours.